Yes, okay. So you may be wondering, where the heck is Danny? Well, I was wondering that myself, but then he just called me and said that he is on his way home. So hopefully he will be joining us soon. In the meantime, let me say hello to everybody who is here. Anthony first in the chat saying, oh, wow, you guys are really going to review this movie. Hey, I accept bribes, and when I'm bribed, I'm good in my word. And I'll definitely check out the replay Thursday morning. I saw this movie, and my only explanation is it was the 70s. That's not even good enough. I mean, when we get into it, I'm sorry. The 70s thing, not good enough in my opinion. And let's see, actually, I'm going to rearrange things. Give me just a second here, guys. Let me take this and I'm going to put it up here. And we'll grab Danny's, put it up here. There. All right, that way you can read it. Okay, so once back to the chat we go. Anthony says, because it was mentioned during last week's live stream, I decided to watch it. What a strange movie. Strange is one way to describe it, yes. 47 Yorktown is here from the Canadian Far East. Good to see you. Mike Richards, the best thing to come out of Columbus, Ohio, is here. Alex Bogey, speaking of the person who bribed me, saying, evening, I had bad internet at the warehouse where I earned Social Security. Regarding doctrine, remember I mentioned the ecumenical councils. All those people spoke Greek, unlike modern day. So what? Nobody spoke English back then. That doesn't make English an invalid language. And even the Greek they spoke 2,000 years ago is different than the Greek language today. So that's... The fact that they spoke Greek is meaningless. Decisions were made about how to interpret Gospels, including the Gnostics and Arians. This was in 300s, 400s that the Muslims conquered Jerusalem and Alexandria. Again, so what? Alex, I understand that. And this is not church life. We're not going to get into it all heavily here. However, I'm just going to put it out there. No one denomination has the right to say that they are the only denomination. I don't care what denomination you're talking about. I don't care if it's Catholicism, Greek Orthodox, or Baptist. None of them have the right to say, we are the only true church. And the minute anybody says, we are the only true church, that, my friends, is something called blasphemy. And even your own church recognizes that there are non-Orthodox Christians who are indeed Christians. That's because you may not believe that. Your church does. That's all I'm going to say about it. Stanley says that's all Greek to me. My flock says hi to everyone. Alex says leaving only the Catholics and Orthodox. Whatever, dude. I'm not going to argue about it. Anyone actually seen this movie? I'd never heard of it. Well, I saw it yesterday. Watched it twice, actually. And the Catholics had to go ahead and spit on Jesus by saying the Pope is infallible. Okay. But you're kind of arguing that the Greek Orthodox Church is infallible. So, yeah. Rock Hudson and Angie Dickinson, so Danny probably liked it. Stan, I don't think you're going to get a high grade from Danny on this one. Is Angie still hot? I don't think she ever was. Bird says, this looks like a great movie. Oh, Bird, if you only understood what the subject matter of this movie really was. Well, you'd probably still think it was a great movie. Is she still alive? I don't know. If she is, I'm sure Danny thinks she looks great. Alex says, then the Protestants became the authority unto themselves, Jonestown, Waco, etc. How do you prevent Protestants going? Wow. You really think that Jonestown and Waco are just typical Protestant churches? How about Westboro Baptist Church? You didn't throw them out there. They're just all typical Protestants, really? Because, dude, that's offensive and bigoted. I would think that you at least give us credit being original Christians. Nobody gets credit for being original Christians. The only original Christians were the people that worshipped in Jerusalem under Peter. They're the originals. Nobody else. And guess what? They weren't preaching in Greek. Stanley says, Roddenberry wrote a sex comedy? Yes, indeed. Sounds like heresy when you say that Orthodox authority means nothing. It is heresy. But you have to understand the difference between heresy and blasphemy. Since we're waiting on Danny, just so you know, heresy is saying something that goes against the policies of the church. If you want to call me a heretic, I absolutely am when it comes to the Orthodox Church or the Catholic Church for that matter, or the Baptist for that matter. By the book, heresy, yes, I absolutely am to most churches because I am not giving absolute authority to any one church just because they're old. Okay? Sorry, not going to happen. Any more than I'm going to bow down before the Pope. Not going to happen. All right? Not going to kiss his ring. So you want to call me a heretic? I don't care. But I won't blaspheme you. I'm not going to say that you're not really a Christian because you and I disagree on doctrinal issues. That's stupid. Stanley, seen it before yesterday? No. Yesterday was the first time I saw it, and I had to watch it twice. Orthodox Church had the humility not to burn heretics at the stake. Well, I'm glad that you had that humility. I don't think that's humility. Okay, maybe you don't understand the word properly. That's not what humility means. Humility is not restraining yourself from killing your opponent. Westboro included. I'm saying who decides what is right or wrong in Protestantism? Protestantism is not a denomination. 47 Yorktown says, Angie Dickinson alive, yes. And back in the day, she was hot. Respectfully, I disagree with you, 47 Yorktown. She's just not my type. I just don't find her attractive at all. And this movie, I mean, she's full-on buck naked in the movie, and yeah, did nothing for me. This film is revenge for Danny fetish. And Captain Jowler says, hey, how you doing, my friend? Danny should be along any minute now. Once he's here, we'll get right into it. Well, I'm sure he'll want to talk about something. Miss Moneypenny saying hi. How you doing, Miss Moneypenny? Daniel's Hot Topics. Hi, what's this movie? This movie is called Pretty Girls All in a Row. We're going to talk about it in a few minutes. And it is the one and only movie written and produced by Gene Roddenberry. So if you really want to know what kind of guy Gene Roddenberry is, this movie is for you. Alex, and regarding the film, we got to take off our Christian glasses. No, we don't. And in fact, I think that's not in fact, if you could just take off your Christian glasses, maybe you should talk to your priest. Interesting cast: Telly Savalas, Rock Hudson, James Doohan. Yes, it does have several recognizable faces. And by the way, I can't remember the guy's name now. The guy that played Trelane. I didn't. First time I watched it, did not catch that he was in it, but Danny spotted him immediately. He's only got like 3 lines in the whole movie. and he definitely put on a lot of weight since his Star Trek days, and this is only like 3 years later. But anyway, yeah, we'll get into it as soon as Danny gets here, and we talk about whatever Danny wants to talk about to start off. By the way, sorry if I look awkward here. I just realized you can see myself on my monitor behind me. That's kind of weird. But I was been working all day. Like, I had to get this stupid gigantic printer set up, and then I told some of you guys already. I have to go to court in a couple of days, and so I've been printing off documents that they want. And then I almost immediately ran out of paper, so don't have any paper to finish printing stuff. That's why you see the blinking lights. It's the out of paper warning. Alex says, well, hedonism was Roddenberry's religion. I can relate. I had plenty of fun vacations. You know what? If anything, according to Roddenberry, he was a humanist, and I'm not going to say hedonism was his religion, just because I disagree with him. I'm going to respect him enough to say, well, he called himself a humanist, which is fine. I mean, yeah, is that really reflected in his personal work, in his attitude? No, but that's what he called himself, so that's what I'll call him. Captain Jolly said he spends his Trek money on a lot of McDonald's. That must be it. Stanley says saltyception. Yes, that's it. It's saltyception. Alex Moore says, good evening. How you doing? Hope well. And Alex says, when justifying Roddenberry's worldview, gotta say the murders don't really fit in. This is not about I don't even understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to justify Roddenberry's worldview. I disagree with his worldview. And so, and he's not around to justify it anymore. So that's between him and God at this point. Jury duty, not defendant. No, defendant. So, collection agency. Let's see. Alex says he wanted to have fun like characters here, just like Risa. No, this is nothing like Risa. However, I understand that, like if you look at the first season of TNG, that was really the only Trek series that was really reflective of Roddenberry. But, so you could argue he's definitely had hedonism in his veins, but he called himself a humanist, so I'm going to call him a humanist. And thank you so much, Alex, for the $1.99. Says this film demonstrated the sexual revolution. No, it absolutely did not. I'll talk about that in a minute. I heard he was a bit of a sexist. Yeah, Roddenberry, definitely there were some accusations of blatant sexism from him. And you have to consider that while they were making Star Trek, he was married to a woman other than Majel Barrett while having sex with Majel Barrett and Nichelle Nichols. So that's the kind of guy he was. He definitely, and so, yeah. I think that the main character of this film, the high school kid who's the main character, I think that's Roddenberry's self-insert into the film, much like Wesley was for TNG. And in fact, you can definitely see some similarities between this character and Wesley, which is something that Alex Bogey mentioned before, that there are some similarities, and I'll grant you that. Definitely some similarities, like between Wesley and that particular character. But at the same time, I think that this movie takes things into the trash at a level that I'm surprised this movie even got made, even back in the 70s. But okay, so when you talk about the sexual revolution was not about legitimizing statutory rape. And that's what that's really kind of the focus of this movie. And so, yeah. Let's see. You're lucky I'm not a petty person who enjoys the pain of others. You keep carrying water for the so-called legal system when it is against Trump. Not so much fun when you are at the business end. Well, of course not. Nobody wants to be sued. But the legal system, I mean, I'm sorry, Alex. Look, buddy, I love you. But the legal system is not against Trump. Somebody sued Trump and he lost. And now he has criminal charges as well that he's defending against. That doesn't Hey, Danny. Yeah. That doesn't mean the legal system is against Trump. It means that Trump has gotten himself into some legal woes.
That would be like me saying the legal system was against me for giving me my DUI.
Right.
When I was clearly driving drunk at the time.
Well, and I was talking about before you got here the fact that I'm at the business end of a lawsuit from a collection agency. Look.
Yeah, I was actually listening.
Yeah, it's legit. I mean, I do owe some money to these people. It's for an old medical bill. And, if you want to talk about the political part of it, Alex, I think the fact that our medical system will make you go broke just because you got sick, that's criminal. And I know, but you would disagree with that. You would think, oh, no, everybody needs to pay their own way. Well, you know what? I hope you never get a chronic illness, buddy. I truly do. Because,
especially with the cost of healthcare in this country.
Right. And the thing, but if something happens to you where you're unable to work, and you got to take off legal lenses, statutory is word. Huh? I don't even understand what you mean.
I think he means worse. I don't know. I'm not sure. I follow.
Yeah, I yeah, I don't know. And don't worry, Thomas, no, we're not going to be talking about politics, so but yeah. And Mike Richards says, I thought statutory rape was having sex with the statute. No. Okay. All right. So, Danny.
Yes, sir.
You got a hot take for this beautiful movie?
This was a garbage movie. It was offensive on multiple levels. I think I said several. In fact, I know I did. I said several times I don't feel comfortable watching this movie. You've got a late 40s football coach and member of the administrative staff of a high school and a guidance counselor using his position to manipulate underage teenage girls, many of whom I know the actresses are of legal age. At least I assume they are. Although this movie was made in 1971, they're portraying girls that are 17 years and younger, and there are several topless scenes. And in fact,
a couple of bottomless scenes.
Yeah, in fact, that was what I was about to say. In the thumbnail, the background image that I use, you can, if I did not strategically place the font where I did, you would have seen her bush. And she's supposed to be 17 years or younger. It was very uncomfortable. And then there was a scene where an overage female teacher has sex with one of her students.
And Alex, thank you so much for another $1.99. Yeah. Say your thing.
Oh, super chat.
And statutory is just made up word. Okay, so all words are made up. Mm-hmm. so yeah, you're right. Statutory is a made up word.
So back to my I guess back to my hot take. The N word is dropped with a hard ER by a redneck good old boy cop, which I forgot movies did that. But yeah, that was a thing for sure. It's offensive on multiple levels.
Yeah.
I wish I'd never seen the movie. You should have taken way more than $30 to make us watch this movie. In fact, I think you should be giving me all of that money for putting me through that. But you're putting that on supportsalty.com, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That was quite the watch along. This is one where we're probably not going to fight that much.
That's what I was saying yesterday. This will probably be a really short review. We'll probably just shoot to shit. Unless you watched X-Men, and we can talk about that.
No, I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, because I agree this movie is offensive on multiple levels. You could rename, and thank you for another $1.99
super chat.
It says, Danny, you are a disappointment. Where's your fetish? No. Danny likes old women.
The joke is I'm supposed to like octogenarians, not prepubescent teens. You know what I mean? It's total opposite.
Well, they're not prepubescent, to be fair.
Okay, fine. Illegally aged teenage girls, So...
Yeah, Danny's supposed to be like, she had the body of a 90-year-old. That's
right. So funny, true story. You guys might get a kick out of this. So I was picking my boss up the other day, and this chick comes out. I was watching his kid, and I'm like, oh, she's cute. I'm single. Is she single? Yeah, as a matter of fact, she is. I was like, oh, cool. And he was like, yeah, but she might be a little young for you. I was like, is she old enough to rent a car? He's like, no. I was like, yeah, she's too young. You got to at least be, if you can't rent a car without my co-signing it, you're too young for me. I'm sorry. Oh, you got another super chat.
Alex with another $1.99 says, put me on already. Your wokeness offends me.
Give him the link. He can join us because we're not going to do much fighting. If he wants to defend this fucking piece of shit movie, excuse my language, mother, then by all means, have him on.
You know what? I'm not even mad at you for saying that. It's that bad.
Yeah.
Look, this movie could just be called Statutory Rape.
Yeah, totally.
That could be the name of this movie.
At the end of it, I was asking all these questions, and then I stopped myself and I realized, no, this is like a porn, basically. The plot doesn't have to matter. It doesn't make sense. The only people watching this are pedos living out their fantasies through Rock Hudson. And I guess the only reason it was acceptable to the people making it is because in real life, Rock Hudson's gay.
But nobody knew it back then. That's the thing.
No, I did. I went down a rabbit hole because... Well,
I know actors knew about it, but people outside of the acting circle.
Right. And all it would matter is if the people on set are comfortable with him because they know that he's gay. And that was kind of the case from the research that I've done. And it's great. The whole Rock Hudson thing could be, if you had done a deep dive as well, we could have had more fun, I think, talking about that man's fascinating life and the shit he went through. You want to talk about somebody living in the closet and being, pretending to be someone they're not their whole life. It's probably what made him such a great actor.
Which is funny because, Rock Hudson was quite the sex symbol in his day.
Yeah, exactly.
And so all the women wanted him, all the men wanted to be him. until they found out he was gay. And then
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, really? And the only reason it was found out that he was gay is because he ended up dying of AIDS.
Yeah. Well, his wife threatened. By the time, according to some of the stuff I read, she threatened him, like with blackmail, like to out him, and that's why he paid her alimony. For like 10 years, he pays her alimony. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
And yes, Benny, the studios exercised a lot of control over their actors, including like making gay actors get married so they had the appearance of being straight.
Yeah, because he married like his agent's secretary. It was that blatantly fixed.
Right.
Like if this had happened today, forget about it. Everybody'd see right through it.
Right.
Yeah.
But in modern day, I mean, people generally don't care.
Well, exactly.
So I mean, in that sense, I think that's a good thing. Like the fact that you have actors who are gay playing, major roles in movies today doesn't bother me in the slightest. However, where I get mad,
it's called acting.
Right? No, Stanley, not like Tom Cruise. Now I tried to think of a big actor who's gay, but the thing is that it's you're playing pretend, and so it doesn't really matter. Where I have a problem in the modern filmmaking is the fact that they say, oh, if you have a part for a gay character, you need to get a gay actor. Why?
Yeah, that's horseshit. It's called acting.
Right.
You're supposed to make believe.
That makes no more sense than saying that the actor would have to be straight to play a straight character. And where gay people have been playing straight characters forever. It's just like, hey, how many times what are you doing with the movie, dude? I had it larger for a reason.
Hold, please. There. And now you just need a background layer to frame it better. So.
Yeah, but we don't have a background layer.
I'll work on that. You keep talking.
All right. And Alex with another
super chat.
That all the sex here was consensual. All your criticism is sour grapes because you didn't get to have fun with your teacher. What exactly was immoral?
I thought I did a very good description of what made it immoral. His position, his age, and the fact that they're underage students. It's
Alex,
not rocket science, man.
I understand. Like, first of all, if we were talking about, say, first century Jerusalem, this would be culturally acceptable, right? But this is not first century Jerusalem. And, in the United States, in the 20th century, what you see portrayed in this movie is illegal. And you, of all people, since you are arguing for your Greek Orthodox Christian philosophy, Paul, the person who founded your church, says you are to obey the laws unless they contradict God's laws. And so that makes it immoral to disobey the law. And please focus on Gene's vision and impact on TNG. Had no impact on TNG. I mean, other than the fact that there's some similarities, I think, between the main character and Wesley Crusher, at least and because I think Gene Roddenberry thinks of himself as that main character, especially at the end of the movie. And it's said in previous interviews that he saw himself in Wesley Crusher. So other than that, I don't see any impact that this would have on TNG. Because I know you suggested like Rock Hudson's character was similar to Riker. Not at all, in my opinion, because Riker wasn't running around banging high school kids. Sorry, Riker would not do that. Whoa. Okay, now you're messing with everything. You just got to mess with everything while we're live. You couldn't do this like when we're not live, so that it doesn't mess everything.
Super chat.
Jesus turned the tables. Don't care about dumb laws, dude. Protecting minors is not dumb.
Wow.
I get that, you know, and you know what? Just because, and just Jesus turned the tables, not because of the law. He turned the tables because the money changers were an affront to God. Read the scripture before you cite it as your reasoning. And by the way, if you make the picture larger than the movie, it makes it more difficult for me to work the controls on the movie. That's one of the reasons I always have the movie larger than the frame. It's so that I can click on the movie without having to click layers and then select that layer. See what I'm saying? Like if you move the background picture up so that it's flush with the bottom.
That's better.
No, you got to keep going until it's flush with the bottom of
flush with the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, that's so I don't think Riker would ever do that. The only other thing, okay, Telly Savalas is bald, as is Picard.
Is this another super chat?
Anonymous, yes, with a $1 tip. Thank you. So it's a super tip, waiting for Danny to say his thing.
Super tip.
There we go. Just the tip. Says minors or minors. Yes, minors, not minors.
Yeah. Oh, Galaxy
Yeah.
Quest. I love
Yes.
that. Minors, not
Yeah.
minors.
Yes. Oh gosh. So as far as comparing it to TNG, yeah, it's a coincidence that Telly Savalas, you could argue, it kind of, sort of, you know, he's bald like Picard. Okay.
Well,
you know,
I kept saying that the dude from Nemesis. I keep
yeah, you
forgetting
thought
his
he looked
name.
more like Tom Hardy.
Yeah. I was like, wow, Tom Hardy. That looked just like a younger version of Telly Savalas. He really did, especially from that movie. From Nemesis. Yeah.
So with that, let's get into the master class in how not to make a movie. I mean, I'll be honest. This film is technically better, but The Room is a much more entertaining film. Plan 9 from Outer Space is a much more entertaining film. This film is, you know, if I were to support banning a movie, this would be on the list. You know,
It doesn't even make sense. Like, they never explain. Like, the murder mystery part is bullshit. That's like the pizza delivery boy in a porno type thing or whatever. It just doesn't.
It's just about banging teenagers. That's what
it really is.
Yeah. And Alex says, if you had a choice, which world to live in, would you choose Roddenberry? Remember, he was banging Uhura. So, I don't understand the question. Are you saying that would I rather live Roddenberry's life? No, because
Hey, Alex, would you rather live the Jim Jones life? Because Roddenberry's starting to strike me as like, I'm kind of glad he died because he might have had some people drinking Kool-Aid with him.
look, Roddenberry, and by the way, you're a fellow Christian.
I don't mean that. Like, I don't
Right.
mean I'm glad
No.
he's dead. I mean, it's just, you know.
No. But what I'm saying is, like, Alex, and this is something we were arguing about this morning on my church live stream. Alex is a Christian. He's an Orthodox Christian, a Greek Orthodox. And so, as such, why would you want to live Gene Roddenberry's life?
Is that like a Catholic? Help me figure.
The Greek Orthodox Church is one of the oldest churches there is. It's a church actually literally founded by Paul in Antioch.
Okay.
So I would, and by the way, Creep, I've never seen Cuties. I'm not going to watch it. You could not pay me enough to watch Cuties. You know,
Oh, is that
that's that Netflix show.
the one that everybody? I never saw it either. That's the one with like the little girls. They're
Yeah.
like is it beauty pageants or cheerleaders?
I
or
don't
something?
know. Look, whatever it is, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I'll tell you, you would have to literally pay off my mortgage to even get me to consider it.
Yeah.
You know, but what I'm saying is, if you're saying, okay, so you say Jesus, Roddenberry, and Trump did not care about laws. That, okay, 2 out of 3 I would agree with. Jesus did care about the law. He did, dude. Read the, you know, maybe that's the problem. You know, you might go to church, but you don't read your Bible. If you really think Jesus didn't care
So,
about the
I just
law.
want to point out this religious talk has literally ran off everybody from my channel. Like I
I'm
have 6
sorry.
people watching, and now I'm down to 1 person, and it's probably my mother, and she doesn't count.
I'm sorry.
So no, it's fine. It's the direction your chat. I was joking earlier. When you're around, the conversation leans religious. When you're not around, it leans wrestling. So you're just getting even with me, basically. It's fine.
Yeah. So, and in this corner, Jesus Christ.
Ding 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 ding.
That's right, Satan. You're going down. So yeah. But yeah, you know, dude, we'll talk about this at a church live stream. But Jesus said, "Obey the law."
Let's see. Okay, so
Yeah.
Orthodox.
Orthodox clergy can get married, but they're also called priests. And
You know
like,
what? I bet you there are a lot less priests who practice homosexual pedophilia in the Orthodox category.
I would probably agree. I
Because
think
they're
that-
allowed to marry and have sex, so that makes
I
sense.
agree with the Orthodox position on that. I mean, if you know, if you were to, yeah, Jesus said, "Yeah, you may knock me down, but I will always get back up. It might take me 3 days." All right.
I was a little delayed with that. It might take me 3 days.
So yeah. So the movie opens up with this dude. This is our Wesley Crusher in the 1970s. And he's on his way to high school. He's 17 years old. What's his name?
His name is it's like Ponce de Leon something. Like
Yeah.
they actually, but his actual name is, the character's name is Ponce de Leon. The actor's name is John David Carson.
Well, I don't care about the actors. And just, so Ponce is what they call him. For
Yeah,
short.
they call him Ponce. Yeah.
And Ponce is on his way to high school, and you know, all he does is look at boobs and butts.
Dude, it's crazy. Like the camera angle, like every single teenage girl, her ass is hanging out, whether it's booty shorts or inappropriately very, very short skirts, where you literally see every girl who's wearing a skirt, you see her panties. Every single girl. Yeah. And of course, the chicks that I would have even like halfway bit, like, okay, what's a better way to put this? All the black chicks had to wear pants for some reason. That annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, come on. Is that too much booty for 1971? Uh-oh, another super chat.
And Alex with another $1.99 says this movie shows the good old days when NWO was around. Do you know what he means? I don't know what NWO.
Well, NWO is New World Order. That's a wrestling thing, but New World Order was in the 90s, like late 90s. So that doesn't, 97, 98, 99. So I don't know what he means. Unless he's talking about a different NWO, which is like...
Yeah, maybe put another...
New World
Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you talking about...
Ponce de Leon Harper. was the full character name. Rock Hudson's Michael Tiger McDrew. Tiger, all right. He's a predator. That's for sure.
He's great. By the way, don't worry about all the nude scenes. I fixed them in this particular copy that we have up here.
Oh, good. 'Cause I was about to say, there's a lot of there's a lot of nudity. I'm surprised we didn't see Rock Hudson's junk, to be honest with you.
So you see, as he's on his way to school, like he sees this couple, they're embracing. He's looking at these girls' butts. He just like every single girl he looks at, his eyes go straight to their boobs or their butts. And like here, it just gets crazy. Like, let's see if I can play for a second. See, look at these shots.
Yeah, they're all like it's boobs, butt, boob silhouette.
Yeah, so just everywhere he looks, there's boobs and butts. That's all he can see.
Planet X. James Doohan plays Telly Savalas' like right hand man, his partner or something. You know, he's another detective.
It's a small
small part. It is weird hearing him speak with like a straight American accent. It's kind of
funny. So here's and guys, I'm not making this up.
And I did get a little bit too excited when I saw Trelane, and I couldn't believe you didn't know that was him until
that caught me. The first time I watched it, I did not catch that was him. So here's this kid's story in a nutshell. He likes looking at girls, and he's constantly getting erections. That's his story.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Several times. He has to hide it with a book, the dinner thing, a pillow.
Look, I was a teenage boy. Yeah, that's a real thing that does happen. You know,
no, that never really happened to me. You know.
Oh, really? Oh man, I had that problem for days.
I don't know if it's because maybe I started having.
You were smoking too much weed, probably.
Not. I mean, there might be a direct correlation with having had sex way too young and having had, other
that could be part of it too. Like you weren't overly excited about it because you weren't anticipating it.
Yeah, that could be it. But I remember in middle school this one. I won't name his name, just in case.
The guy that broke his virginity?
No. This dude that was in the cafeteria at Griffin Middle School, and everybody picked on him. He's wearing basketball shorts, and he basically jizzed his pants. Okay. And it happens,
right. But yeah, so this kid, he's got a problem getting erections all the time. And he confides in the school. I'm just going to tell you his arc real quick. He confides this to the school counselor. Meanwhile, Angie Dickinson becomes his substitute teacher, which just makes the problem even worse.
I'm 11 away from 400 subs. If we got 11 people who haven't subbed to me already and are willing to, I'll put the link in the chat. Thanks. Sorry. Go ahead.
So Angie Dickinson is his new substitute teacher, and he's talking to the counselor about his erection problem. The counselor comes up with the creative solution of hooking him up with his substitute teacher so that they have sex. And yes, they have sex. And then because of that, he becomes a total pimp and trades in his little moped that you see him on in the beginning with a nice motorcycle, starts like basically snapping his fingers and the girls come a running. And that's his entire arc.
And basically the substitute teacher is pimped out by Rock Hudson's.
There's Angie as the substitute teacher.
Yeah, and like whoever... And no, Alex, this is the comment I was looking for. I don't find her attractive.
Oh, really? I thought you would.
No, I mean, you said that yesterday too, you're into the... No, she's
I know, you probably think she's hotter now.
Her ass is flat.
Super chat.
And thank you, says Danny, stop moralizing already. Movie awesome.
Movie awesome. No.
Yeah, yeah. You wrong. Movie bad.
Movie really bad. But, yeah, no, I think, like if we're going to objectify, like, first of all, that's what she's here for in this freaking movie. She's got my boobs
Well,
are
both
bigger than
her
hers.
and-
Her butt's as flat as, my back. She's already got, no, she's just not my type. I'll put
And
it that way.
honestly, she doesn't have any curves. I mean, look at her.
Yeah, she's just not my
Yeah.
cup of tea. I'm sure somebody beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm sure
Yeah,
like
but you
that
can
kid
see
clearly finds her hot. Look at
Yeah.
that look on his face.
But also look behind him. He's surrounded by hot chicks. That's like the theme of this movie is like every girl is hot, and he constantly has an erection because of it. Look at his class. I mean, there's like 2 dudes in the class.
Oh, hey, good pause. So I'm wrong. I can see the black girl's legs in this scene. Can't tell if it's a skirt or not. Maybe but.
And so,
Oh my God! There's so many times she just literally puts her tits like right in his face. There's a scene later where they're literally
well, I think like is it right
touching
here? Yeah.
his face. Yeah,
Look
boom.
at that.
Yeah, boom.
Not-
Right in the eye socket. Come on.
Yeah. So, and keep in mind, now at this point, she's not trying to get to him.
If this, and I said this yesterday, and I want to say this on the live stream as well, and you agreed with it. Had this been like a university setting, I wouldn't have.
It would have been a lot different.
Yeah, when the majority of the issues I have with this movie would have. Now it's still a bad movie, even if if that was the only change they made. It's a terrible movie,
Right.
Like you get no resolution whatsoever with the murders. They leave it open-ended like they were actually considering giving this turd a sequel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was.
This is like part 1 of a 2-part episode of Kojak, and part 2 was never made.
Yeah.
And I say Kojak for a reason, of course. But yeah, so she smacks him. Look at that, literally hits him in the head.
Yeah. Point at your nipple right in the eye socket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, he's walking to the bathroom covering his erection with a notebook or whatever.
Yeah, because he basically after getting slapped in the face with and he gets she bends over in front of him.
Look, I just want to say something. First of all, today is May Day, and we are supposed to be starting. And I've been busy with the new job, so I haven't been able to do this properly. But for posterity, we do have a sponsor this month who will be a sponsor the entire month of May.
But we don't have a commercial for him yet, do we?
We have commercials, yes.
Well, why
They're
don't
the
you
same.
play one?
I could do that. I could play one. But while I'm looking it up, why don't you tell people a little bit about Criticless, what it is?
Well, Criticless is a website for people who like reviews but don't like critics. And so there are no critics on Criticless. There's just people who make reviews. And the idea that Blaine has is to kind of be an alternative to sites like Rotten Tomatoes. And that way, because Rotten Tomatoes, of course, has gotten a lot of pressure over being manipulated and such. On Criticless, no, you create an account and you can post your reviews. And if you want to see what the percentage is, it's just based on the people that put in reviews.
Out this weekend.
Would you like me to recommend you some new movies?
Sorry, technical difficulties. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. It's got it has something I really like about it that you haven't mentioned is
You should probably make that a little smaller. Yeah.
It's got a social media kind of element to it as well.
Yeah, you can create groups, you can follow friends, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like both me and Danny are on Criticless, so you can follow us. So you can see what an incredible score we're going to give this movie.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably be the only 2 people to review this movie, to be honest, but that's
right. So let's take a second here to check out Criticless.
I wonder if there's any good movies out this weekend.
Would you like me to recommend you some new movies?
Ah! Oh my god, what was that?
Hello, my name is Lit. I am your in-car information system. I can give you recommendations for any type of entertainment. Would you like to hear about the most popular movies in theaters today based on critic scores from Rotten Apples?
Okay, yeah, I would, actually.
The #1 movie in the country this weekend is about a homosexual chipmunk who learns how to play chess. This 4-hour epic displays 10 full chess matches in real time.
No, absolutely not. That sounds literally horrendous. I can't even believe that's real.
Okay, well, the second highest rated movie, with 98% on Rotten Apples, is about a poor starving girl living in the 1920s who finds refuge in a cannibalistic swinger commune, where they all learn the value of love while feasting on the flesh of the innocent.
Who's rating these?
These are ratings from the top film critics in the country.
I am so sick of this. Honestly, I'll just find my own movie.
Because critics suck. And so, by the way, I want to see that movie. The swinger cannibals.
That's too funny.
Yeah. It'd be better than this piece of crap.
Oh my God! Right? Yeah.
All right. So after here he is. He's trying to hide his junk because, and yeah.
Here's the thing, and I'm not saying this to poke fun at Alex Bogey, who's not only paid you to make us watch this, has been defending this movie vehemently in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I would say anybody who gives this movie a good rating, if they're not already registered with a specific national database, they probably ought to be. You know what I mean? Because those are the only people that are going to like this movie.
Wow.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay.
That's a little.
I'm not going to say which database, but I think you guys smell what I'm cooking. So there's that.
Yeah. So he goes in there, and then there's a dead body in the next stall, and so that's not good, right? So now.
Can we show that's not a violation of the terms of service?
No, you're not actually seeing anything that's,
Just kidding.
Yeah. I believe me, there's some stuff that you're going to be like, whoa, but then it's covered up enough. But yeah, so there's a dead body. And yes, Planet X Critical is a very cool website. So do check it out. Please do. And, use the promo code, non-existent promo code when you sign up.
Well, it's free, so there's no need for a promo code.
Well, there is
but we are going to have, I've just been super busy with the new job. And I figure we can shoot the breeze later since I was late, if we have time for that. But we are going to there will be a Nerd Fight specific promo coming soon. But for now, just tell Blaine that Nerd Fight sent you, and that's good enough. He might just give you a high five or add you as a friend.
Alex Moore gives this movie a 9 out of 10 because it has TNA.
Salty. Don't tell them that Blaine friends everyone like Tom from MySpace, so they feel special.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't tell him. Yeah, I was really excited when he friended me when I first signed up, and then I realized, he just does that to everybody.
Yeah, that's why his picture, I don't know if it still does, but when I joined, it was actually a spoof on the MySpace, that Tom from MySpace or whatever.
So then we get to meet Rock Hudson, who is busy at work with one of his students.
Mr. Propper! Mr. Propper!
Testing. What is it? That covers the boobies. Okay.
Yes.
What is that?
That was Lore Reloaded.
Oh,
Damn.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you like that?
Hey, that worked. Yeah.
Good. Definitely you don't have an erection problem now, I'm sure.
No. Yeah, well.
So he runs to tell the principal about the dead body. And we go back to Rock Hudson in educating one. Now, so Rock Hudson is what?
Bird of Prey said boo, so I was
No.
never mind. Yeah. This guy.
Yeah, oh, that's Sheriff. But yeah, so Rock Hudson, I mean, his character is so messed up.
Super chat.
And Alex says, first day of spring is always the time for fun.
So, are you sure he's a Orthodox Christian and not like a hedonist?
Orthodox Satanist or something?
Orthodox hedonist?
Yeah, I don't know. He claims to be Greek Orthodox. Maybe the Greek Orthodox is just a really messed up church.
Right.
You know, that's the only thing I can think of.
Are they one of those religions that believe if
you could have sex with your leader and
if what's it they say, if it bleeds it breeds or something like that, or is old enough to bleed old enough to breed, or whatever those guys say?
I've never heard that before. That's really disgusting.
It is, right? No, there are people that
thank
think
you for
that way.
sharing that with me. I didn't need to hear
well
that.
At least it's not as bad as the one from that Matthew McConaughey movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
I don't know what
where
movie
he was
you're
a
talking-
lawyer. Where he was a lawyer. Samuel L. Jackson killed these dudes that raped his little girl.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it was. I think it was called A Time to Kill. It's based on a book. It came out in the '90s. It was actually really good. It was like Samuel L. Jackson before he was actually a really big star. You know,
Right.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, no, I've not seen that. But no, Alex.
See, in that movie, pedophiles get dealt with the way pedophiles should be dealt with. They get murdered. In this movie, they get to fake their own death and run off to Brazil.
you know, your spoiler warning.
Oh, fuck this movie. Spoiler. Okay, yeah. I spoiled the movie for you. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically, okay. So there's Rock Hudson just after screwing.
This is a good pause because I was saying from the side, he kind of looks like Kurt Russell. You can really see it here, can't you?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think they're related though.
No, they're not. They're not related in any way. It's interesting.
So Rock Hudson's character is the vice principal of the school, the guidance counselor of the school, and the high school football coach.
And everybody in the community loves him.
Yeah, everybody loves him. And he just happens to be having sex with every single cheerleader in the school. Hey, Jedi Bill, good to see you.
I'm sorry, Jedi Bill.
Yeah.
And Mother, if you're saying that your dad said that, don't admit that ever again. Because if you're referring to what I think you're referring to, that's not good. And I know you had like 13 brothers and sisters, and Grandma and Grandpa probably started banging when they were children, but that doesn't make it okay nowadays.
And I hope that last comment is a lie, Alex. I really do. Because,
oh my God.
Yeah. So, yeah, I hope that's a lie.
I hope that's a joke.
Yeah. If it is, it's in very poor taste. So then we get Telly Savalas, who is from the state police, because
I kind of want to like have a prayer break right now. I'm not even,
for Alex.
Do I need to be concerned about this dude? Do we need
Well, I know he's a hyper conservative, but that's just you're just being weird now, Alex. So.
A little creepy, my man. A little creepy.
Yeah. You gotta watch that line. I know this movie crosses that line, but you don't need to. Trust me, you don't need to. So I did leave this scene in just for you of her putting her panties back on because I know
this is terrible. Yeah, I mean,
he just finished having sex with another cheerleader.
He dirty dogs at least once in this movie. At least once, where he doesn't clean his junk in between two different people.
I've never heard that term.
It's okay.
You're teaching me stuff I don't want to be taught.
Well, you made me watch a movie I wish I'd never seen. So there you go. We're even.
Dirty dogs.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, and I'll tell you, Alex.
Because his hot dog is dirty. That's where. It comes from.
I get it. You don't have to explain it to me.
Can you change the pause to a different thing that's not making me want to I'm not even Catholic and I want to do Hail Marys right now.
There. There, she's done putting on her pants.
Okay, if we're showing all this inappropriate underage shit, we're getting flagged anyway. I'm smoking a cigarette. This is stressing me out.
So, all right. So Rock Hudson's characters are. Oh, and there's. Is that Trelane right there? Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. Right there on the left, underneath.
Yeah.
That's
So you
Trelane.
see, yeah, he looks fat.
Look at that gut. He's doing
Yeah.
that thing where fat people cinch it in the middle, and so they got the muffin top and the muffin bottom. You know.
Yeah. Mm. Wow, Bird. That's just.
Gee, I'm not even. Don't show that comment.
I wasn't planning on it. I just glimpsed over.
Man, I feel terrible. Since I started my new job, Jedi Bill, I haven't been able to hop on the underground. LD probably thinks I'm an asshole. Tell him I said hi. Tell him it's just, you can, I was late to this show. You can ask I've been super busy yet. You guys should all be proud of me. 58 days sober today, 2.5 weeks. Into the
so
new
you're going to get
job.
another token in a couple of days.
On Friday, I get my second, or technically third chip, because I got a 24-hour chip, a 30-day chip, and then I'll get a 60-day chip on Friday.
Awesome. So very proud of you for that. So let's talk about Rock Hudson's story. Rock Hudson's story. He's the high school football coach, guidance counselor, and vice principal. He's banging the entire cheerleading squad, but he's also killing them all.
Hold up. In his defense, I'm just kidding when I say that. He only kills the ones that get a little too clingy. They
right.
he just wants to hit it and quit it. The ones that are like, oh, I want to get married. If you don't marry me, I'm going to tell your wife. Well, then he kills them. He doesn't kill them all. He only kills the ones that kind of threaten.
Well, he kills like 4 of the girls,
which doesn't make it any better. And he kills. Spoiler alert! 3, 2, 1. He kills the cop, the chief of police, or whatever.
Well, it's funny because they called him the chief of police, but his uniform said sheriff.
That's
Yeah.
The brilliant mind that directed this movie was the same one that directed Barbarella.
Well, Barbarella was a better movie.
Yeah, but it was also a sexploitation film.
Yeah.
So just a little bit more age appropriate one. That's all.
Yeah. So basically here, Rock convinces Angie to ask him to come to her house to work on a term paper. And he lies to her, saying that the kid has a problem with total impotence, where his problem is actually that he gets an erection all the time. So,
if you're referring to Telly Savalas, I don't think so.
no.
Or if he did, he started shaving his head at a very young age.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because, you look at pictures of Patrick Stewart from the 70s, and he was mostly bald even back then. And he was a young guy. So people like that are they're bald in their 20s.
I think it's a sign of human evolution, to be honest with you. Because, if you believe in evolution, then we all came from apes. We just lose more and more hair over time. Just makes sense to me. Oh, who's naked now?
Okay, I can actually show you because there's one frame.
Oh, I don't want to see it.
No, this is actually.
Is it an adult or a student?
It's actually. I think this is one of the few times it's an adult. There. Well, no, I think is that a student?
Yeah, cover that up. That's a student.
Well, don't worry. So bam.
Okay.
Because the dress is going down, and then so I immediately. We
Gotcha.
blank it out. But yeah, so then he goes home to this.
Alex
the
is just doubling down on this. Okay, all right.
Okay, so Alex, again, you need to read your Bible. Do you understand who your neighbor is? Because Christ clarifies your neighbor is all of humanity.
And yes, Planet X, Telly Savalas actually just basically plays Kojak.
But this is 3 years before Kojak.
Right,
So. But Telly has always played the same cop character. Just Kojak, he swaps out, like in this movie, it's cigarettes. In other movies, it's cigars. In Kojak, it's a lollipop.
Yeah.
So anyway, he comes home to this. This is the most attractive woman in the movie, And it's his
because
wife.
she's the most attractive, age appropriate woman in the movie for sure.
Well,
So she's the
girls
default.
are
She's
all
the most.
she's the most curvaceous woman in the movie, and she's she doesn't look like she needs a cheeseburger desperately like all the high school girls.
Well, Captain,
So-
I don't know for a fact. I assume so, but this was in 1971 where you could smoke everywhere, apparently, including inside of schools, which I got a kick out of.
But yeah, as far as we know, all the actors are above the age of 18 because even though they're you can have teenage actors. It was let's just say there were certain laws about how many hours a day you could work, and that was a bigger problem than things like nudity. But it was also extremely controversial when Brooke Shields was nude when she was underage in like the Blue Lagoon. That was a very
And
controversial.
what was that? That one chick who was a porno star when she was like 16.
Oh, Tracy Lords, I think.
Tracy Lords, yeah, that was a big thing. I remember that being a huge thing in the 80s, I believe it was.
Well, because as soon as people found out her age, all of a sudden all her early work became illegal.
yeah,
So but the wife
right? Exactly, Alex. He's got a smoking hot wife, and he's banging all these kids for some reason. It's terrible.
which is absolutely vile. And so I mean, look at it. His wife is,
And he's got a daughter.
Yeah.
He's got a little girl.
I mean, how would he feel like? And he's trying. By the way, he's grooming the Ponce. Is that his name, Ponce?
Yeah.
He's grooming Ponce to basically be just like him.
Yeah.
And by the end of the movie, Ponce is just like him. And he even tells Ponce he wants Ponce to become a teacher at that school so that he can become his vice principal eventually. But would he really be okay if Ponce were banging his daughter when she goes to high school?
Yeah. I don't know. As depraved as this character is.
Yeah, maybe. He'd probably be okay with it. So... but yeah, so she is, definitely the most attractive woman in the movie. And there's his daughter.
Did you notice how the handheld camera shots were of lower quality? Like,
Because they're 16 millimeter. It was a limitation of the day.
Super chats.
Can you forget about the law and just have fun? It's not Alex. I think that a 40-year-old, screwing a 17-year-old is disgusting. I'm sorry, I just do.
Even if it were legal, it's disgusting. So the law has got nothing to do with it, Alex.
Yeah, if it was a 40-year-old and an 18-year-old, I would still have a
I have a daughter in high school. And
my daughter's 28. If some 50-year-old were going after her,
I would probably. You still haven't watched Knox Goes Away, have you?
No.
Damn it! It's very relevant to what I'm about to talk about, but I won't because I want you to see the movie and I don't want to spoil anything. It's a really, really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely, if anything like that happened, I'd do the same damn thing that happens in that movie. So.
And Mr. Lundell, look, I know sexploitation movies were all over the place. However, although I've only seen a couple of them. And I've never seen one that just glorifies statutory rape like this one.
Yeah, not just statutory rape. I mean, it's highly, it's a person who's in a position of authority at the high school preying on high school girls. That's every father's worst fear.
And what he does in the movie, besides committing 5 homicides, he also convinces another middle-aged high school teacher, a woman, to have sex with a high school boy, and grooms said high school boy to eventually replace him to be a predator against more high school kids.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So,
this is. I know this is based off a book. I don't know if the book is the same or not, but this really does this. I want to, in one aspect, Alex, thank you for bringing this to my attention, because now I don't feel bad at all when I talk shit about Gene Roddenberry. From I used to have guilt because I would talk shit about him. I met his son in person, and he was super cool to me. But no, I can't excuse this.
Highlight Jedi Bill's comment real quick. Last House on the Left is an excellent revenge movie. If you have not seen Last House on the Left, it is, there's a movie where, that's exactly how I would feel if someone did something horrible to my daughter. Mm-hmm. Have you seen it?
I've seen the original one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because the family just slaughters those kids. Mom and dad. Yeah. And remember, mom goes down on the one kid and then bites his dick off
in the bathtub. Yeah, I remember my mom let me watch that movie way too young. By the way, she had it. She had it on, and you know what? She might not have let me watch it. We had it on VHS tape, and I watched it way too young. That I do.
But Mr. Londell tried to say it's a movie. Grow up, dude. Just I don't support this type. This movie is not just about a pedophile. This movie glorifies it. This movie revels in it.
When the least offensive thing in this movie is the redneck chief of police saying the
N-word.
The N-word with a hard ER at the end, when that's the least offensive thing in this movie, something's wrong.
So yeah, more shots of girls in panties and stuff. Yeah, and then Telly is interviewing some of the girls about the murder victim. The kids had this scene, and I remember I told you when we were watching it. This scene is the closest thing this movie comes to any real social commentary.
Yeah, they're talking politics in this one randomly in this one scene.
Yeah, in this
you
one
kind of
scene,
explained it to me later because they were singing protests, and I didn't even notice it. Had you not pointed that out to me, I would,
and yes, and by the way, yes, annoying critic. This movie was bad even for its time. Roger Ebert called it embarrassing.
Yes, yeah, embarrassing, and he still gave it two stars. I think that's too many. He should
And my good frenemy and fellow Super Sentai fan, Overlord DVD, says hello. Wow. Well, in that case, tell him I said hello. I'm surprised he might even remember who I was. All right. So back to the horrific storyline. All right. So this becomes important later in the movie, but he's writing a book, and the way he's writing
it would have been more important had Telly Savalas heard it, not the kid.
Right. But he's writing a book, and by the way, he's also a clinical psychologist that's doing all this, which that doesn't surprise me. I would say.
Well, I mean,
if anybody was going to do this, I would think somebody in the current mental health industry would be the one to do this.
Yeah.
But
who better to manipulate? That's another thing. It's just so disgusting on so many levels.
And Alex, okay, I agree that Americans get too hung up on sex and not hung up enough about violence. I will absolutely agree with you about that. That being said, not approving of middle-aged people having sex with teenagers is not a hang-up, in my opinion. That's basic morality. Okay? Especially when you're not...
I feel like Alex was born in the wrong century.
Yeah, and especially, look, if you're talking about 2,000 years ago, in Israel, right?
And never watched this movie, Gorilla.
Yeah, Gorilla, don't watch it.
Yeah.
If you're talking about 2,000 years ago in Israel, right? Because honestly, Mary and Joseph would have been about this age difference, right? But it was not dude looking to score at the local high school. It was marriage.
Super chat.
And Alex says, I had a hot girlfriend, did not stop me from duty.
I don't understand what that means, but I'm gonna I'm going to pee. I'll remember to mute this time.
Oh, well, it could
Carry
improve the quality of the stream if you don't mute. So, Alex, I don't know what you mean by stop you from duty. If you're saying that, okay, so you had a hot girlfriend and you still screwed other girls and you're bragging about that, you need to check yourself. And again, I know I sound like some really boring, stick up your butt Christian, but I don't care. That's, the simple fact is, if you are a Christian, and I know you claim to be a Christian, at least that's what you were saying this morning. So if you are a Christian, even if it's something you did in the past, you should not revel in it. You should not celebrate that fact. In fact, you should wish you hadn't done it. You should have repented of it and turned your back on it. Not go, yeah, those were the good old days. Because if you're actually thinking back to your sinful past as being the good old days, then you have a serious relational issue when it comes to your Christianity, because you ain't no Christian. I'm just going to put it out there. If you're going to sit there and go, yeah, that was so awesome when I was just banging people left and right. No, that's not awesome. It's horrible that happened, and it potentially ruined your sex life moving forward. It definitely reduced the enjoyment you're going to get out of it. So I hope you're just kidding around. But if you're being serious about that, you need to check. You need a serious heart check. I'm just got to say it. Anyway, while we're waiting for Danny,
I just actually want to speak on that because I was listening while I was using the restroom.
Yeah.
Look, as yes, that's. I hope you're correct, Captain. As someone who,
I mean, you could talk about this more than me, even because you're just coming out of some serious party time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going through the fourth step right now, and a lot of that is where you take a moral inventory, honest moral inventory of yourself. And one of the things I learned about myself while doing it, and I'm just now getting into my late 20s, and I've been working on this for weeks now, like 5-6 weeks. And there's a reason they make you do the fourth step. First, you write all this shit out just so you kind of realize how much effed up stuff you've done. Mm-hmm. And then you share it with God, and then you share it with at least one other human, usually your sponsor. Some people have shared that they couldn't even share it with their sponsor, but they shared it with their priest in like confession. And then the one guy, I don't know if he's joking or not, he said it got to the point where the priest basically told him to stop. He couldn't hear anymore from it. Oh, we got a super. I'm not putting that up there.
Yeah, Alex, I love you, man, and I really appreciate the super chats. But these are the kind of jokes I made when I was a drunk. And you would have said this when we first started this show.
Yeah, and I am, I'm just feeling so much shame. Like I'm having PTSD right now. No, I'm only kind of kidding.
I understand.
I did a lot of terrible, horrible. I cheated on a lot of women. I did a lot of terrible, horrible shit that I regret, and this is shit I got to make amends for when I get to. I believe it's step 8 or 9. I don't
and Alex, yet. And I will tell you, nowhere in the Bible does it say that. And that is a truly sexist statement. Nowhere in the Bible will you find that verse.
Now, I did have an aunt once who told me the only thing women were good for was bringing other men into the world. And, and I thought it was funny coming from a woman. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that statement.
Right. I hope she was kidding.
I hope so too, but I'll never know because she's dead now. So there's that.
Okay.
Cancer took her out. Yeah.
All right, so they're talking, and then
Just smoking all through that school. I love it. It's
Yeah.
so funny. And this was weird. You told so you want to explain to the
yeah.
people?
So the board he's on, it's a balance board basically. So he's standing on a board that is itself on a like log roll, and the trick is to remain balanced. So as you can see, if I play it for a few seconds, how he's kind of having to swerve back and forth. And this is a real thing that was very popular back then. We had one. In fact, I don't think I know anybody that didn't have one. And they were used basically to improve your coordination.
That would probably be a good exercise for my hip.
Yeah.
After for like physical.
Yeah,
therapy.
the doctors would say it was good for your back, for your hips, for your joints in general, and also just helped your gross motor functioning, coordination. So yeah, and so that drink, he and Angie share a health drink.
A cream of some young guy.
Yeah, and so then he tells her that he wants her to basically hang out with this kid who's suffering from impotence, and so she agrees. Not realizing that what he's really trying to do is set them up to have sex.
that was the hot black chick wearing pants, by the way.
Yes. I know, but
Yeah.
she's too skinny. Look at that. She's too skinny.
She's still got a booty though.
Yeah, but
Oh, see now, look, there's no. Yeah, nah, I can't. Now I feel guilty. See, that's what I don't want to watch this movie because sure, the actors are probably legal age, but she's playing a child.
yeah.
It's like it's.
All right, so he goes to her house and they start talking. Now she's talking to him about Milton, as in Paradise Lost. Interestingly enough, also a theme in Star Trek II and Space Seed.
Space Seed, yeah.
Yeah. However, just for the record, Roddenberry wrote neither one. So that's just a coincidence. Then we see this girl.
Just don't make it on his face, neck, and chest, please, Alex. But anyway, continue. I can make jokes too.
She starts playing chess with Rock, and it's like, the heck with chess. Let's get it on.
Ow. Yeah, like you pointed out, that had to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like she literally lays butt naked on these metal chess pieces. How? That just looks painful.
Yeah.
Did I watch? I've never seen American Pie, Bird.
Well, first of all, they were obviously overage, whereas I don't think that
These kids look like kids.
Yeah,
Especially since, look, you see a lot of these girls topless, and and I'm sure they were cast in large part because they all had very small breasts to make it look like they were still developing.
Yeah.
And that made it worse.
Something I found out doing my deep dive is they actually did a premiere at the Playboy Ranch because apparently a couple Playboy bunnies had small cameos in this movie, but it was from before my time. And
as to Gene Roddenberry's daughter, which is
Gene. And this movie apparently I tried to find out how much it made.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could find was it made like $300,000 in France. So
wow,
I'm not even sure it got an American release because it was so bad, So like, if you guys can find anything else, let me know. But my research, I could only find that it made, $300,000 in France.
Let me see. Yeah, there's nothing on Box Office Mojo.
Yeah.
I was just looking to see if there was any information on it. So, then we get these super close-ups of her lips.
And in embraces forcible.
And that's just so that, all of a sudden he's having his, erection issue. And the funny thing about this, so remember, she thinks he's impotent.
Yeah.
And so because he has a massive erection, she's like, oh, that's so wonderful. And he's like, you're a freak, and runs.
Yeah.
And you think that's going to be the end of it, but no.
Hey, they're on the far right for all you waiting. That's Scotty. There's Scotty over there.
Yeah. There's James Doohan, Telly, and Trelane. So there we go. Picard, Scotty, and Trelane all on one side.
There you go.
Never thought you'd see that one, did you?
Right.
So they're looking through the girl's mail because they're trying to match up the handwriting on the note that was pinned to her butt with the handwriting of all of her boyfriends that she's had. They do find a match. Meanwhile, Telly comes to visit Rock and his wife because why not? So this is the other political scene here.
Yeah. I didn't even notice until you pointed out they're singing some kind of protest song.
Yeah, because I've heard that song before from when I was a kid. And so what's going on is the boys in the high school, and this was a thing in the 70s, it was a very big deal, less so in the 80s because the Vietnam conflict was over. But remember, this is 1971. The Vietnam conflict was in full swing when this movie came out. And so these boys have to go in, and it's legally required, they have to go in and register for the draft. And so these girls are standing around outside of the registration area singing I guess you could call it parody of the national anthem, except that the lyrics are changed to talk about
it was America the Beautiful.
Or America the Beautiful, thank you. Except the lyrics have been changed to say how horrible America is. And because we're attacking innocent Asian countries. And so this time, Alex says, Salty, my neighbors are those who can flood me with bad plumbing. You forget that sluts would have banged other alphas like drug dealers, if not heroes.
I got you saying sluts for that AI program now. Just be warned.
Yeah, great. So let me say this, Alex. Other people are going to commit every sin that there is. Is that a license to sin? And in fact, the Apostle Paul writes, should we allow more sin so that grace can thrive? And he answers that with the words, absolutely not. So the fact that sluts, as you say, there you go, that's a nice clear iteration of the word for your AI. The fact that sluts, as you say, would get banged by other alphas is not a reason for you to do it. And in fact, is all the more reason for you not to, because you should be if you consider yourself an alpha, then you should be setting an example for other alphas, which clearly you're not. Now, the one good example you do set is that you make most of your points via Super Chat. And for that, my friend, I do truly appreciate it, even when I disagree with you.
I don't know if you'll get the reference, but everybody's got a price.
Yes. Hey, I'll have a conversation with anybody via Super Chat.
So that was a Ted DiBiase $1 Million Man impersonation is what that was from wrestling. There's Trelane carrying the secretary.
Yeah, who looks like she belongs in the high school drama class.
Yeah,
with that horrible wig and the glasses.
And Scotty rocking the Burns.
Yeah. So what they're doing here is just reenacting the crime to see if it was realistic that the body could have been moved.
You know, it's like Beetlejuice. You said sluts 3 times and
And
Ariel,
Ariel
showed up.
shows up. Yes. that yeah. Oh lordy. And so, by the way,
money, dun 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 dun.
so
Sorry.
every time the sheriff does something stupid, by the way, Telly makes him direct traffic. Which,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. I gotta admit, it's he's like, "Oh yeah, you can help me," and then they cut to him directing traffic.
Amanda, you probably expect us to do X-Men. We're doing it tomorrow, honey. He didn't get to watch X-Men, but thank you for being here, Broken Birds. Please come back tomorrow for our X-Men review for sure.
So
I missed you last week. I wanted to talk to her about Rogue murdering people. If you're like, can we? Because this is terrible. Can we pause for a second, just for a quick second? Amanda, quick question to her. What did you think about Rogue, with just straight up becoming a murderer and Breaking Totally Bad? I'd love to get your feedback on that in the chat. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I assume that happens this week.
No, remember that was last week. Remember, she dropped the dude and just straight up.
I don't think she murdered him. Did she?
Well, no,
the
if-
dude.
if
The dude she dropped from
No,
the
if
rooftop.
if Trask hadn't been like, for all intents and purposes, she thought she murdered
if he
the guy.
wasn't
She intended-
Nimrod, then
whatever. Yeah. She broke bad in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just spoiled something. I'm so sorry. God dang it. Okay. I said, God dang it. Just to clarify.
So yeah, in a totally inappropriate scene, which I know hard to believe anything inappropriate happens at this high school, but Rock Hudson and what's his face Ponce walk by all the girls as they're doing their workout together. And,
That makes sense. Yeah. So that basically causes Rogue to break bad in the following episode. I'm sorry, Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Amanda, you got to watch the next 2 episodes before tomorrow night and then join us.
Yeah.
All right. And just for that, your first super chat will be half price. Not that I can, I just let you say 2 things, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, and giving I'm sure you hooked up the thumbs up and all that.
Well, you're getting ready for bed. It's 9:35 for me, so we start at 8.
No, she says she's doing East Coast time. She must be doing phone work or something, but it's all good. But join us tomorrow for at least, we always do X-Men first, because it's shorter.
Yeah.
And then Ariel, we were talking about that before you got here. That's hopefully every single one that shows their boobs, because you missed it. There's a lot of tit shots in this. Oh my God, in this one.
Yeah. So right here, this scene is like, okay, so he's basically trying to talk to Angie about how she should have. Now he's trying to step it up and get her basically to have sex with Ponce.
Well, it was she was talking about how hot and bothered she got by Ponce, and she had a horrible night because she was horny and went to bed unsatisfied. So he's doing this in a reverse psychology. He's basically manipulating this woman, getting her even more hot and bothered. So later this evening, in the time
she'll have sex with Ponce.
She's
And so, he's like, as you can see, we have no emotion going right now because we're being totally clinical. And she's just like, oh, yeah, I can see that, and it's like, this scene is pure cringe.
Yeah, it really is.
And then he comes up behind her and then does it to her again. And then he tells her to lock the door, and they start making out, and he's like, oh yeah, baby, I love you, I want you. And she's, oh yes, I love you, I want you. And then he just gets up and goes, so you see, it's very simple, no emotional connection. And she was so mad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She might have left a stain on his desk right there.
Yeah. Again, if this were okay, so like you were saying, if this were in a college, then these were a couple of professors, and they were talking about seducing some
it's less offensive. It's still like
right.
anytime somebody in a position of authority manipulates somebody a subordinate of
Yeah,
theirs.
but as a raunch comedy, it could work.
It could work if they were like Animal House was set at a college.
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of gets a pass on some of the shit they do.
But the fact that so then you see this girl who again, I know they cast these girls because they look younger than they actually are, but he's about to have her come in and he's going to be banging her now, and so that is what he's attracted to, not Angie Dickinson, who actually looks like a woman, even if she's not.
No, Bird, don't watch this movie. Trust me.
Bird is getting turned on right now. You have to understand. Bird is going to be, highly excited watching this movie.
Oh man. Okay, now we got him and Alex high-fiving in the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
And yet, Mr. Londell, I know it's fiction. I don't understand what your point is. That doesn't make it okay.
Some things are just in poor taste. Okay, this is extremely poor taste, and it's a peak. And the only reason this has any relevance to our channel whatsoever is because the creator of Star Trek wrote this dumpster fire of like this movie offends me, people. Okay, think about that. Didn't mean to almost kill you there with that, but super chat.
Have you noticed women wanted to be treated this way?
Wow, did you have an orgasm when that audio leaked of Trump saying grab him by the pussy? Were you just like, was he your ultimate hero at that point?
Oh no, you don't even ask that. Yes, Trump is his ultimate hero.
I don't want to be with a woman that wants to be disrespected and treated that way. So if they're out there, stay the F away from me.
Yeah, you know what? My wife is dignified, elegant, beautiful, and I don't want a woman who's not all those things. Yeah. Well, granted, I could see why, like you might.
I don't know if they shot this out of order, but Ponce looks even younger in this scene than he does.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, a woman should have self-respect, and these women don't, and they're completely objectified. But
watching this just makes me want my daughter to take Brazilian jiu-jitsu even more now. I've been trying to get her to do it for years. Oh my gosh. Super chat.
And so it says, anyways, hope this made you see Gene Roddenberry's vision. No, because this has, look.
If this was his vision,
Star Trek never would have gotten off the launching pad.
Yeah, count me out.
If this was what Gene Roddenberry I know Gene Roddenberry was always obsessed with sex, and that's why, like, if you watch the Cage, the original pilot for Star Trek, it's all about sex.
This Mr. Londell's comment makes me want to go down the rabbit hole even deeper. I feel like this was probably a passion project for Gene Roddenberry. I don't think he did this for the money.
Because the thing about this, Mr. Londell, this movie was written and produced.
That's a very important thing
Gene
I left
Roddenberry.
out earlier.
Yeah.
Produced means he put his own money into this shit.
Yeah, this is Gene Roddenberry's passion project. He just didn't direct it because he can't direct. Yeah. But I don't know if did he direct anything? I don't know if he did.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll look.
But yeah, this is a Roddenberry production.
No, he's only ever got writing and producing credits. Yeah. That's it.
So yeah, this and it's not and produced by this movie is produced by Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
And we got a super tip from Ariel.
Super tip.
It says, money for Salty being salty. Also tell Danny to check his PayPal. There you go.
Man, I got to figure out how to do that thing where I get notified like you do and can share it. But I will do that. I'm assuming that means she gave me a tip as well. So thank you, Ariel.
So, Ariel, that was very kind of you. I do appreciate it. And I know Danny does too.
Oh, she did. She sent me $10 also. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yeah. You're so sweet.
Mercer
She split it down the middle, so you can't get mad.
Yeah. So Mercer says, what movie is this? This movie is called Pretty Girls All in a Row. It is one of the most offensive films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And honestly, now I don't think that it shows, and because this is what I want to say to Alex.
Can I read this? I got it in an email. I can't share it on the screen. Her super chat to me from Ariel, Danny being Danny. Also, congrats on continuing to be on the wagon. Thank you so much. Yeah, 58 days today, Ariel. Thank you.
So to kind of give you an idea, Mercer, and to answer what Alex was saying in his super chat, is that I don't see this as Gene Roddenberry's vision for Star Trek, but I certainly see this as Gene Roddenberry's fantasy.
Yeah. Especially based off of the weird stuff you told me about the way he was banging chicks that worked on the Star Trek and cheating on Majel and all this other stuff.
Well, he was cheating on his wife with Majel.
Right.
And
all that
Michelle
crazy stuff.
At the same time. And then Majel married him. Which shows me Majel had no self-respect. I'm sorry. I mean, it's like, I can't remember who it was, but one of those, you know how you can like look up great quotes from people and stuff. There's a quote, and I wish I remembered who said it, but it's the man who leaves his wife for his mistress leaves an opening in that position.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Roddenberry did. And so, I see this not as Roddenberry's vision for Star Trek, but I do see this as what Roddenberry wishes the world were like.
Yeah.
And the fact that this kid Ponce does have some similarities to Wesley Crusher, and he said that Wesley Crusher was him. I don't think that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Did you move the?
Yeah, there we go. I wanted to pause it on something cooler. There we go.
Well, Telly Savalas and sunglasses. You can't get much cooler than that. I mean, even though it's a crap movie, it's got Telly Savalas and sunglasses, so you can't give it a 0.
I wonder if he knows how cringe if they just had him shoot on the days, or if nobody gave a shit back in the 70s. Probably.
No, it was just a job to him. And, keep in mind, this is before actors became the massive money paid whores that they are today, right?
Yeah.
Actors did not make millions of dollars for being in the movies.
Yeah, man. Wow, we got you to say sluts and whores in the same string.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's how bad this movie is.
Yeah.
So today
it's just dragging us all down. It's just
all right. So meanwhile, the football game's not going well. So he goes back to his office and look, another girl.
And this is a student, we kind of skipped over it. She was the one that was chewing on her glasses at her locker and staring at and saw the substitute teacher walk out. So she assumes
he was banging her. Yeah.
And so this is where she goes to blackmail him. So guess what? This bitch ends up dead too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And you can see where this scene's going. Right into the trash can.
Yeah.
All right. So meanwhile, Angie gets gas because
but she also gets sexually frustrated and yells at somebody because something happens that made her sexually frustrated in this scene.
Right. And then
and then it was to put the tiger in your tank. It was the innuendo of because she wanted to bang Tiger.
Yeah, because Rock Hudson's character's name is Tiger.
Yeah.
And
the keep cool, honey. Skipped over that, but that's the girl.
Right.
He just killed.
So then he's hanging out outside with a group of students. Now, look, he's the vice principal
because it was the 70s, Ariel. They only showed the females in the movies back then.
Yeah, but he's the vice principal, the college football coach, the high school football coach, and the guidance counselor. So he's also apparently teaches the kids drama. I mean,
he's just anything he can get his hands into.
Yeah. And notice
manipulating
again,
the girls.
Yeah, the class is mostly girls, and he's reading them a sexually charged scene from Don Juan.
And they're all staring at him like the chicks did Harrison Ford, but at least again, that was a college campus. It was a little,
Yeah.
you know, and Harrison didn't.
And
Indy didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Angie's reading sex books now because, you know, I guess that's a thing. And he comes over to
And yes, springtime. The character's name is his nickname.
Actually, yeah, it's Tiger.
Is Tiger. That's what everybody calls him, is Tiger.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mercer. Appreciate that.
And no, springtime. No, Gene didn't want to be Tiger. Gene wanted to be Ponce.
He wanted to be Ponce. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Ponce is very similar to.
Gene
Ponce
is admitting,
Tiger 2.0.
Yeah, but Gene is admitting that a character like Tiger is his idol and his hero, and that is someone he'd aspire to be, which is why he's portraying. You know, like he's. You get what I'm saying? Like he's the character Ponce. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, and you know, so he would want when he was, because keep in mind at the end of this movie, Ponce is screwing all the girls,
Yeah.
and so yeah, Gene wants to be Ponce. So, then Tiger, you know, is hanging out with yet. This is that girl that.
Oh
was,
my God! This is yet another. Yeah. Go ahead.
So yeah, here we go.
Oh, don't show. No, they're gonna. No, you see everything. You see this chick's bush too. Stop. Stop.
I know. Don't worry, I got it covered, dude.
Okay. All right.
You forget, I'm good about that. So then they start. They finally start making out, but then he gets his pants dirty.
So those got to come off.
Yeah. Oh, let me clean those for you. And this scene. Oh,
I grabbed your soap, but it wasn't his soap.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'll play this whole scene. You ready for this? He's in the tub.
Oh. I've got it.
Wah, wah. Wah, wah. Who has soap shaped like that, by the way?
She knows what she was doing. She knows what she was doing. Oh my, let me. Oh, I'm sorry. That was an accident.
Yeah.
Get the F out of it. It's Bird. No, you and Al and this Alex guy need to go. Never mind.
And oh yeah, here you go. This is just what you want to see right here.
No, stop. Well, you said you weren't going to show it. You can see this stuff.
Hi, Coach.
So he gets busted by the sheriff.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe you showed that.
You couldn't see anything. It was covered up by lore. Oh yeah, and
Oh, good. You skipped over the post-sex scene with them where
no, we're getting back to
she's
that.
laying on the bed.
Oh, brave.
So yeah, so Ponce has finally lost his virginity with Angie Dickinson.
This
New world that has such peace.
this is proof that Salty is cheap. $30 is all he
Shakespeare
made this guy
the
pay.
tempest.
Do you know how many stars there are?
Should have been at least 100.
Yeah,
And even that wasn't enough.
Can't say that I do.
But, you know, he's been given a lot of super chats, so it probably adds up.
yeah. So this movie is so cringe. It is the very definition of cringe.
Since the beginning of time.
A trillion?
Yeah, there is a strategic picture.
Good God. Yeah.
So you can enjoy Lore Reloaded dancing.
100 billion. That means there's one star for
So yeah. See, they're talking about space, and then this shot. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Chief, yeah, I like $6 Million Man. It's a good show. But I wasn't bribed to watch $6 Million Man. So then they find, there's another dead girl.
And the cop was dead,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and the cop was
missed-
there next to her.
You skipped over, yeah.
So now they're.
I think that was Scotty's most time at once on screen. That's,
Yeah.
this scene
This
here.
scene right here.
This is his biggest part in the movie here. Yeah.
Let's see if we can.
And this here, Ranger training, Fort Benning, Georgia. Karate instructor.
And this guy's probably also an expert at crossbows, boomerangs, and fencing. You should...
Isn't that weird not hearing him do the...
I know, yeah.
But yeah, so that's when... so they find out that that Tiger is a, like ex-special forces and all this cool stuff. Again, Gene Roddenberry's idol to look up to, right? So this guy is a man's man, and he's screwing every high school girl and has a hot wife. And so they think he's having sex with a girl in his office, but he's actually just talking to Ponce and hanging out in a very 70s casual kind of way.
Yeah.
And yes, I would agree, Mercer. He did look a lot like Richard Dawson with that suit.
Yeah. And the big bushy burns.
Yeah. So then,
that's the funeral for one of the first.
That's the funeral for the first three girls.
Oh, was it all three? Okay.
Yeah, all three girls and the sheriff. So they have a funeral for them all at the same time. Oh yeah, this girl, she's nasty. So
something for you. I've always got something. For a clue, look in your top desk drawer.
So let's see. Yeah, this is before the days of Snapchat. So she literally put a camera up. There we go, to get a picture of herself completely naked. And look at that strategic. Did you see it?
Yes.
Lore popped up for just a second there.
Just a split second.
Yes. But yeah, so she puts a naked picture of herself, and then he's like, "Hey, baby." And Telly's starting to get suspicious now.
Yeah, Chief, X-Men's tomorrow. X-Men and Discovery's tomorrow. He hasn't even seen the X-Men episode yet.
Yeah.
So.
Fortunately, we're almost through this crap-tastic movie. So then he calls all the boys the P word, because he's
this doesn't make sense. Like this movie,
all of a sudden this becomes a sports movie.
Yeah,
like out of nowhere, it's just a sports movie for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was like, there's like 10, 15 minutes of this movie left, and we're seeing the big game now. What the,
Yeah, and he's like got to give the inspirational speech to the boys who are losing the game, and then they come out in the second half and win, thanks to the coach being awesome.
He tells Ponce to go wait for him in his office, but the chick never turned off the...
The chick forgot to turn off the recorder, so he hears him having sex with the girl on tape and finds the picture of her in his desk drawer. So now he knows what's up.
Yeah.
And he tells the coach that, he's not comfortable with all this, and the coach is like, okay, well, I'll drive you home. And then they go late at night to a dock.
Super chat.
And Alex, I love you, man, but I know you're kidding, right? Because you've said this like 5 times now. You're kidding, right? Right? Because really, from what we understand of human development and stuff, you're not truly an adult until you're in your 20s. But yeah,
the funeral was a very short scene.
The funeral was a short scene. We spent 10 minutes in a football game, but like 2 minutes in the funeral.
Yeah.
So now Ponce and Tiger are in his car, and he just decides, you know what? I'm going to floor it. And the car goes careening into the water. and we find out that Ponce survived, but they're at the funeral for Tiger, and
It's in the description, Chief.
yeah,
It's actually the title of our video.
yeah. Look at the name of the live stream.
No, Tiger is grooming Ponce to be his replacement, and it's Ponce, short for Ponce de Leon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're having a funeral for Tiger. Of course, all the girls are devastated.
Bradley, welcome.
Hey, Bradley. And so then we see Angie is sitting here next to this guy from the football team.
See, this doesn't surprise me. So what you're saying, he's got that in common with Trump. Okay.
Yeah. I have not seen any of that footage.
And I don't know who his daughter is, but Gene Roddenberry's daughter is credited as girl number one. Is that the first dead girl? Does that mean the first dead girl number one? That's what I think it means. The chick that was over the toilet.
Because I don't know who girl number one is.
And we get to see her ass up in her panties, with a note taped to her ass.
I'm sure Gene liked that. So he touches her leg. And, so she's all happy now because she's going to start banging all the high school boys. And so as this movie ends, we have...
Not in this movie. The only one he grooms in this movie is Ponce.
Well, he just straight up had sex with all the girls. And, yeah. But yeah, Ponce was the only one he was grooming. He was training him to replace him one day. Mm-hmm. And so then we see Ponce basically just walking up to girls and saying, I see you're really sad about Tiger's death. Why don't you meet me at 4:00 and we'll screw, And
and that's not the only one. He does this like 2 or 3 times. Picks one up on it. 3 times. Yeah.
My place at 4.
See, he's setting appointments with them. And and there he does it with this blonde. Like he just said my place at 4 to the other girl, the blonde, he's gonna meet at 5. And then
he picks one up for right now on the way home.
On his motorcycle. Because
not a scooter anymore. Now he has a motorcycle.
All of a sudden the scooter became a motorcycle through the power of sex.
And yes, Chief, this is the only Gene Roddenberry movie.
Yeah, this is the only film written by Gene Roddenberry.
Written and produced.
Yeah.
But the only film written.
Yeah.
He has producer credits on something, on the first Star Trek movie. But.
Right. And then, of course, we get the...
And then he gets busted down to just
right there. Consultant. Girl number 1, Dawn Roddenberry.
I'm thinking girl number 1 was the dead girl. What do you think? Because they never did. I don't think they gave her a name. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, my favorite name in the cast is Joy Bang.
That had to be a porn star or a stripper. One of the two.
Yeah. So,
or is probably one of the Playboy bunnies. Because remember, I
that could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Right there, Rita is Joy Bang. So, just so you guys can see it, I'm not making up that name.
Yeah.
Joy Bang.
She registered with the Screen Actors Guild with that name for it to show up in the credits. So,
who? John Roddenberry or Joy Bang?
Joy Bang. Yeah. So there is a Joy Bang in the Screen Actors Guild, history archives or whatever.
So,
Yuckster, I said this so many times. This movie could not be made today. There's no way.
Yeah. And you know what? And this movie shouldn't be made today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This movie is just bad. Let's see. So, Joy Roddenberry has 2 credits on IMDb.
Joy Bang, you mean?
No. Dawn Roddenberry.
Dawn Roddenberry, okay.
Yeah. She was in this movie, obviously, and then she was in one episode of the original series. She was in Miri as Little Blonde Girl. Which figures. The episode where Kirk is a pedophile, she was in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So, yeah. Final thoughts?
This is getting a 0 heinous rating on Criticless for sure.
I don't know if I can give it a 0 though, because it does have Teddy Savalas in sunglasses, and that's like got to get you at least like. You remember, it's out of 100, so maybe 5.
No, I refuse to. You do whatever you want. I'm giving this a 0. This is getting a 0 for me. This movie's got no value of any kind, no artistic merit whatsoever. It does not need to be seen.
No, it absolutely.
I wish I had never seen it. There's only one other movie I've reacted to this way, and I don't even. But it was some kind of. It was a movie that I remember reading on the DVD thing. The reason I rented it in the first place was because a blurb from Stephen King was, "This movie disturbs even me," and I thought he meant that from a horror point of view. And no, it was kind of like it was almost like I'm glad I don't remember the name of it. And it
wasn't a Japanese movie, was it?
No, it wasn't a Japanese movie. It was a low budget American horror film, but it was basically a snuff film that just wasn't real. You know what I mean? And it was very underage stuff like this. It was bad, and I'm glad I can't remember it. And hopefully in a few months or a year, I won't remember this one either. I will have successfully deleted it from my memory banks.
Mm. And yes, Kojak is in it. Although, honestly, I think Danny's talking me into giving it a 0.
Yeah.
Youngster, I would agree that it would be even more disturbing if it was in an elementary school, but that's not a compliment to the movie.
What?
Danny and Salty, you just wanted to have a counselor like Rock Hudson. Yep, the audio made Trump more qualified. The more you respect women, less fun you have.
This has got to be a shtick at this point, right? He can't honestly feel
Alex,
this way.
you kind of lost me at this point. I know you're lying to me.
Okay.
No human being can be as sexist as you are sounding right now.
Give another $10 for what? You have to.
Just for because we watched it.
Yeah, right. She feels so bad for us. Yeah, no, no. This was. It'll be interesting to see how this video does over time on YouTube for sure. If people stumble across it, the comments, like I said, anybody in the comments who genuinely raves about this movie, I'd be surprised if they're not on a national registry.
There's some kind of registry.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's the thing is like, how do you...
Oh, she says, okay, I see. She says basically if we burn the movie and never talk about it again, she'll give us another $10.
Oh, I see. Trust me, we ain't talking about this one ever again, I don't think. So, it was... I'll give you this much. It was interesting in the sense of, okay, now I know really how depraved Gene Roddenberry really was.
Yeah. Makes me look at some of those episodes in a whole different way now. Especially the one the Miri episode now.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder if that episode was his idea,
Now I'm like, okay, you might have been onto something there. When I was arguing with you that, oh no, it wasn't. She's 300. No, that Gene's projecting there. He's
a weird one.
Another super chat. This time from Planet X.
So Planet X says, Alex, it's not even funny, just embarrassing. Well, and that's what Roger Ebert said about the movie. He literally said that this was embarrassing.
And yeah, I mean, Yuckster, thank you for saying that, because as much as I make jokes, just like I make jokes about Sleepy Joe or whatever, if it's down between Joe and Trump, I'm voting for Trump, people. So don't lump me in with this shit. You know what I mean?
And look, I do understand that. From a policy perspective, I agree with Trump a lot more than I agree with Biden. And Ariel with another 10 says, to get this taste from my mouth, watch what she said. I can't quite read that.
Where is it?
Watch YouTube video called StarCon.
StarCon.
No, what is StarCon?
I don't know if you guys saw this. I caught a bug and then I killed it. And just to prove it, look at this. Caught it with my bare hands.
I don't need to see a bug snuff film.
Okay.
That poor bug.
I'm just
that's the name
stoked
of the.
I caught it with my hand.
I see StarCon 2017. It's a 17-second video.
Anyway, I hope that tranquilizer dart is for Mr. Bogey and not me, Mike Richards, because compared to him, I'm a saint today.
Yeah, dart loaded and ready. Yeah, you need to point it at. Oh, here we go. StarCon, Star Trek versus Star Wars. Oh, I've seen that video. Okay, it's basically someone put together. It's a video of basically clips of different ships from different franchises.
Oh wow! I just
duking it
got.
out.
Thank you, Ariel. Let me see if it gives me the message. Says, watch YouTube video called Star. Oh, same message she sent you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super. Well, it's not a super chat yet. I can't monetize, but thank you for the tip, the donation. You're a beautiful woman.
And so, yes, I've seen StarCon
with
before.
the best thumbnails, I might add. Changes it every time she's on the show, and it's always.
You do realize that those girls are technically supposed to be underage too.
It's totally different when it's drawn. There's no realism there whatsoever, And no, there's no 16-year-old with boobs that big. Come on, give me a break. She's got to be at least a legal adult to get the implants. So there's that.
No, not necessarily, especially these days, man. Have you not paid attention to modern politics?
I guess not. Are they really underage kids are allowed to get boob jobs? That can't be true.
Well, it depends if they're trying to, and it varies by state, and it not necessarily boob enhancements like that, but to get boobs removed because they want to transition. That is something that in some states is legal for minors.
Wow. All right. I don't even want to get into that conversation.
Yeah. Which, there's definitely some problems there. Let's see. So, Gene, I'm just curious here now that we've looked into Gene's sick mind. Let's look at the episodes of Trek that he had a hand in. He wrote The Cage, which, by the way,
I'm
is
trying to
all
find
about...
this StarCon video. She paid me $10 to watch it. So
it's called. Let's see. Look up. Well, here I'll just give you the link.
Yeah, that'll work. Thank you.
Let me go to private chat.
Now, Ariel, specify. Are you wanting us to watch this? Live.
We'd probably get hit by whoever created its copyright.
All right. Well, Claire, if you want me to do a review, maybe we can do that later.
We could talk about it tomorrow night because it's only a 10-minute video.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll do that then for you, Ariel.
All right. So he wrote The Cage, which, by the way, is about sex. The Cage is. Rewatch The Cage. It's just about sex. That's all that episode is about. Then he did the story for Charlie X, about an annoying young kid
who has the hots for Yeoman Rand,
who wants to have sex with everybody.
Yeah.
Mud's Women is his next one. My goodness, this list is just starting to explain a whole lot of things, right?
Okay, Alex, I hope you're one of the Patreon subscribers because it's actually you've paid him so much money in super chats today. You could have been a member.
He's seen the movie.
I'm just saying, he says who wasn't cheering for Ponce to get with the teacher. If you watch our live reactions, you'll know the answer. Neither of us was.
Kid is young Gene. Tiger is Gene as a producer. I don't see it that way. I think Tiger is just Gene's idol of a mentor.
Yes, that's what I think too. I think it's his idea of the alpha male that he looks up to.
Right.
Teach me.
So
something.
he has written credits for the Menagerie, but that's just a rehash of the Cage. Return of the Archons. He has the story credit for that one. And that's it for season 1. Season 2, we have looking for other than creator. Let's see, Private Little War. He did the teleplay, but not the story treatment. Interestingly enough, written by for the Omega Glory, written by for Bread and Circuses, which I really have a tough time believing that one. That he wrote Bread and Circuses. That's the Christian episode, the flagrantly Christian episode. Story by
Return of the Archons was the Purge, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Let's see.
Yeah, he had some fucked up ideas way ahead of his time. I bet you he would have loved the movie The Purge. He probably would have tried to sue him.
Yeah.
You know, if he was still
Savage
alive.
Curtain. He did the story, and he did the story for Turnabout Intruder, the only episode where the Federation is sexist.
Yeah, that's the one where Kirk is a woman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a pattern there. Most of the episodes that he's involved with, not only are on the lower tier of good episodes, but also he seems to like gravitate towards, people who are hypersexed.
The only person who can really answer that, Ariel, those people are all dead now. So it could be. Very well could be.
Could Tiger been an actual person? Yeah, I don't know. I do know that this movie came from the mind of a madman.
Yeah.
It's truly, I mean, because my problem with it, again, if you could do something with the basics of this story and make a good movie out of it, but the way this movie just revels in in older people having sex with younger people, it just makes me want to take a shower.
Yeah.
It makes me just feel wrong watching it. Chief Cook wants to know, in Star Trek 6, did they say Colonel West is in Starfleet, Army, or Marines? They did not. They didn't say anything. They just called him Colonel West. They didn't say what his branch of service was. So yeah, that was really, really disgusting. What do you think?